Okay, so just to end today, there are lots of different resources that you can use to try to stamp out rumors. I think Synopsis is pretty good. It's not perfect. I think it does a reasonably good job of stamping out things that are coming out fake from the sort of the Democratic side and from the Republican side. But they also do more than just political rumor stamping. They do a lot of stamping of just sort of crazy emails that you may see on your desktop. But they're not the only one. There's lots of others. But here, this three set of questions that we started with at the beginning of this quarter comes back again. It's incredibly valuable. I use this in my research, and I use it in my day-to-day life. Carl and I talk about how these three questions right here should serve you well going forward in this world of white noise and fake news. Who's telling me this? How do they know it? And what's in it for them? Keep those questions in the back of your mind as you see something being sold, look at a news item, look for these kinds of things. As I mentioned, there's lots of different resources out there. If you have other resources, let us know. We want to try to compile a list so that students have access to at least another third party to look at whether things are fact or not. Now, Twitter and Google and some of the big tech giants are getting involved, but based on this discussion that we just had recently, I don't think that's the only part of the equation. In fact, I think it'll be a small part of the equation. I think it's more personal responsibility. There are, at least from my world in machine learning and in the data science world, there are challenges right now to teach the computer how to differentiate fake news from not. This challenge is specific, and that what it does is it's hand-labeled several articles where the headline does not, it's not consistent with the story itself. This happens because a lot of times the editor writes the headline and the author of the article wrote the article, and there's this differences. And the idea is to try to develop methods that would automatically at least identify those that are contradictory. Facebook and Google have a set of now tools that you can sort of put in and say, I think this is useful. I think you can't do this for everything, but you can now list in the apps something like, is this a fake news story? Is it spam? We should try to help the search engines. I know it helps them make money, but I think this is something we should be trying to do at least a little bit. They also have a set of guidelines. Watch for unusual formatting, consider the photos, investigate, of course, the source, look closely at the URL. I think most of you at the university, I think hopefully are building these good habits of mind. Be skeptical, of course, of headlines. Now, there's a whole bunch. I'm not going to read through all these, but there's the whole point here is there's lots of websites. There's a link here of the work that this professor has been working on, a bunch of things to look out for. Some that I'll just note real quickly. Look for sites that end in .com, .co. So there are sites out there that are abc.com, .co. So they look like they're abc.com or they look like they're fox.com, but they're then masked as if they were the actual news sites, Fox or ABC or these various other places. Just look for odd domain names. Look for author contributions. Check about the about side. Bad website design in all caps should be a sign to look out for. Avoid websites that end in these strange sort of characters. These are things to watch out for. These are a bunch of sites out there that show bad websites to avoid. These have been places that have been shown to spread fake news. So what can you do? Here's the last, there's two, this is one before the last slides. Do your best to try to refute these, but also try not to spread articles unless you've done some digging. It's hard to dig everything, so we can't expect that. You're going to keep hearing it from us. If we can just start doing that more and more as a society, that should help. And also, I say, it doesn't matter. You choose the newspaper. There's lots of good newspapers out there. Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, even local newspapers. Try to support them, because I think if we can then move to more of a subscription base and pay for this good news, that'll be helpful. Because really what we don't want our America to be the great American hoax. So with that, if you have questions, come up and talk to us. I know there was other comments.